Yes, indeed. Welcome again as we step inside another episode of the Cool Game Podcast series. Inside the Reggae Planet radio showcase inside the Reggae Planet spotlight. And today, we're continuing the conversations about what's going on in Maple Leafs land, part 3. Today we're talking about the players. Should they trade all the top players, or should they have patience and give them one more season? The answer is no, don't trade them. Give them one more season. Because as I was saying in a previous episode, back in the days, the Toronto Maple Leafs management was full of impatience, and many times they traded away future stars who went on to win Stanley Cups with other teams. So this time around, Toronto Maple Leafs has some of the top stars in the NHL. They got the great Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, as well as John Tavares and William Nylander. They call them the top four. Should they trade the top four? I said no, have some patience and let it all play out. Give them one more season and let's see what can happen. So the Toronto Maple Leafs general manager, Mr. Kyle Dubas, has been working on complementing the team and supplementing the top four with some new additions. As you know, Zach Hyman went away. He went to another team, man. He signed now with the Edmonton Oilers. So he's no longer at Toronto Maple Leafs. Also, the goaltender, Frederik Andersen, he also departed. And he went and he signed with the Carolina Hurricanes. Joe Thornton, he also left too. He left town and he went and he signed with the Florida Panthers. And Nick Foligno, he also left town. Nick Foligno went to the Boston Bruins and he signed a 2-year contract with them. So Nick Foligno is no longer with the Maple Leafs. So Kyle Dubas, the general manager, is finding ways and means to carry on. And now there are some new faces on the Toronto Maple Leafs this year. Most interesting of them all is these 5 that we'll talk about today. Number 1, Nick Ritchie. He was selected by the Anaheim Mighty Ducks in the first round in 2014. But he is from Ontario, and you know it's good to have some guys from Ontario playing on the Toronto Maple Leafs because Toronto is located in the province of Ontario in Canada. After he was selected by the Ducks, he was eventually traded to the Boston Bruins. Last season he scored 15 goals, 26 points in 56 games. He also had 4 points in 11 playoff games. Nick Ritchie is a big, strong right winger, somebody that could play alongside Matthews and Marner and give them some more toughness. Or maybe he could play alongside William Nylander and John Tavares. There was a big controversy back in 2014 in the draft. People was wondering, who is Toronto gonna draft? In those days, Nick Ritchie was available in the draft, as well as William Nylander. And Toronto selected William Nylander. And some people were saying, but they should have selected Nick Ritchie. You know, especially Don Cherry. Don Cherry was saying they should have selected Nick Ritchie, man, because he's a homegrown talent, you know, from Ontario here, you know, he's from Orangeville. He probably grew up as a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, so it's good to get guys like that on the team, you know, real hometown guys. Nick Ritchie, a lot of people like what he was showing from those days. They like what his talent, his skills, because you need those kind of big, strong, forechecking forward. It's not just all about pretty plays. You need some tough guys on the team. And the way the Leafs are playing right now with the top 4, they got the talented guys. So they need some big, tough guys like Nick Ritchie to round out the team. Yes, indeed. So welcome Nick Ritchie to the Toronto Maple Leafs. He scored 15 goals last year. Maybe he will score some more goals if he gets to play with guys like Matthews and Marner, or guys like John Tavares and William Nylander. The other great new addition to the Leafs is a new exciting player known as Michael Bunting. Last season, Bunting scored 10 goals and added 3 assists in 21 games for the Arizona Coyotes. It's not a lot of games, but he scored 10 goals in 21 games. So he's looking good. He's looking promising. He has the talent. He has the skills. Great performer in the junior leagues. Let's see how he's going to translate now into the top leagues. These guys are all young players. Carl Dubas is hoping that these players can add something now to the top four. Young, talented guys with a desire to win. The desire to win is the most important thing now. So these guys are from the Toronto area. Yes, indeed, Michael Bunting himself is from Scarborough, Ontario. Yeah, so he's from Toronto. It's great to have homegrown guys on the team, guys who are from the area of Toronto, Ontario. That is a good motivating factor. Some of the underlining vibes that can create greatness on a team. Sometimes it's where you're playing, all the emotions come together at the right time. So we're looking forward to Michael Bunting having a good season with Leafs this year. He could probably play alongside Matthews or Marner. Or maybe he could play with William Nylander and John Tavares. It's a matter of who is doing the best in the training camp and in the preseason. They're going to have to play their way on the top lines. Also, they got Andrei Kasha. Yes, indeed. Andrei Kasha is a Czechoslovakian hockey player, and he's a super talented player. He previously played with the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, and also he played with the Boston Bruins. Along the way, he played on the Ducks alongside Nick Ritchie, and on the Boston Bruins team, he also played alongside Nick Ritchie. So at least Andrei Kasha and Nick Ritchie, they're familiar with each other. That will help, as they come to the Leafs now. They have some familiar faces. But some of them know each other from even back in the junior days and along the way. Also, the Leafs signed a new player known as David Kampf. He's considered a shutdown centerman. That means he's very skillful at being defensive and knows how to shut down the other team top performers. And Toronto Maple Leafs need a defensive specialist like that. So today we're talking about Nick Ritchie. We're also talking about Michael Bunting. We're also talking about Andrei Kasha. And we're talking about David Kampf, as well as Josh Hosang. Josh Hosang is another super talented kid. He's born in the Toronto area too, Ontario area, from Thornhill, Ontario. It will be interesting to see how he does this year. He's one of those super talented guys, but he's been having problems cracking the NHL lineup. Originally, he was drafted by the New York Islanders, but somehow there was some problems. One of the time they said he missed the practice session. He was late for practice and some attitude issues. Some of them say he's speaking up too much, but maybe they just don't know how to deal with somebody who knows how to speak up for his rights. Who knows? So at least Toronto is giving him a second chance to see if he could get his act together now on ice and off ice and become a great talent and do some great things, because he is a great player. So we're looking forward this year on the Toronto Maple Leafs now to see how these new players are going to pan out. Right about now, we also got to talk about the goalies on the Toronto Maple Leafs. You know that Frederik Andersen is no longer with the Toronto Maple Leafs. As I said before, he's now with the Carolina Hurricanes. And coincidentally, Peter Mazurek, the goalie that used to be with the Carolina Hurricanes, he has now signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So this year coming up, it's all about Jack Campbell and Peter Mazurek in net. Because as you know, Jack Campbell had one of the very best seasons last year. He set the NHL record last year for wins in a row by a goaltender from the start of the season. And that record was previously 10 wins in a row from the start of a season by a goaltender by Carey Price. And Jack Campbell tied the record at 10 wins in a row, and he beat it and set it at 11 wins in a row. Yes, indeed. So he had an incredible start to his season last year, and he continued, and he had an outstanding season. And that was mainly due to the fact that he was put into the number one position, playing lots of games, because Frederik Andersen was injured a lot last year. So Jack Campbell had to step up. Now the big argument is, can Jack Campbell play a full season? So that's why they brought in Peter Mazurek to back him up, or to be a tandem and play the games, 1-2 punch. Jack Campbell and Peter Mazurek. So we're gonna see how it's gonna play out this year. It looks like Toronto has some good goalies, and they got some good players up front. They got a good defensive team too. They finished as the top 7th team in defense last year. Up front in goal scoring, they finished as the 6th highest goal scoring team in the league last year. 7th best in goals against and 6th best in goal scoring. But when it comes to the power play and the penalty killing, they gotta improve themselves, because in the power play they were ranked at number 16 in the league, and in the penalty killing they were ranked all the way down at number 24. So they're gonna have to fix up themselves on the special teams. But when it comes to 5-on-5, they've been doing good. So let's see what happens this year. Do you think Peter Mazurek and Jack Campbell can do a great job in goal? And do you think the new players up front can be exactly what the team need and help them get over the edge? Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Yes, indeed. Thank you for tuning in to the Cool Game Podcast series, Inside the Reggae Planet Spotlight. Tune in again next time, and we will continue the story.